Taylor Burden. I'm the Code Enforcement Officer for the town of Brunswick. We are out here today with the fire department reviewing our process for egress balconies. So egress balconies are required by code, by building code, anytime the building's a certain height, and to make sure that anytime that there's an emergency, folks can get out safely from any structure or any building. Building code and fire code often overlap, especially in situations such as this. Josh is going to explain a little bit more from the fire department perspective what purpose egress balconies serve.
Yes, my name is Josh Sheehan. I'm a fire inspector with the Brunswick Fire Department. So here we can see we have the egress balcony on the building, and as part of making sure that every sleeping area has more than one way out. We want to make sure we have two ways out from every room in the house. And here it's really important because it's more than 20 feet off the ground, that the egress balcony forms a way that people have time for rescue. So with the whole idea is we want to make sure we get them outside of the hazardous environment, we get them away from the fire and away from the smoke, and we get them into an area that they can be rescued from. So although we're fortunate here in Brunswick, we have this beautiful tower truck, it does take some time to get it into position and get it to where it can do a rescue. So our other option is to use ground ladders. So we have ground ladders that we can put out, but the problem is, or why egress balconies are important, is our ground ladders can only reach about to the second floor. So anything over 20 feet in height can't be reached by a ground ladder. So here we see one of our fire crews coming in like we would if we had to do a rescue from the window. All of our engines, we have 3 engines in Brunswick, all of the engines carry a 24-foot extension ladder, is the standard length for ladders. And here we're going to see that this ladder is going to come up just a little bit short of where it needs to be to rescue somebody if they are out on the platform. Again, the importance of the balcony is to be able to get that person out of the window, get them away from the heat and the smoke of the fire, and get them into a safe area so we have time to put the ladder truck into an operational mode. So now we're setting up our tower truck. Our tower truck sits on a wide frame, kind of like a crane, to help stabilize it. It's part of what allows the tower truck to do a lot of what it does, including reaching up. We have 105 feet of reach with the tower truck, and if we didn't have a good wide base, then it wouldn't be there to stabilize the tower truck. So now, the operator of this truck, they're able to get the ladder into position. We have the option, we can operate the truck either from the back, or we call that the turntable, or we can operate it from up in the bucket. In addition to the added height and reach that we have working from the tower truck, we also have the added benefit of safety. If we're working off a ground ladder, then only one firefighter can be there to help with the rescuing of the victim or somebody who needs help getting out of the building. With the tower truck, again, we have the bucket on the end of it, so we can have multiple firefighters there. They can work as a crew to help rescue people from the building, and it provides a much safer environment and safer footing for them to be working from. This is also safer for the people that have to come out of the building because they don't need to climb down the ladder as well. We can have them in the bucket and we can bring them down without worrying about falling. So here, this building shows sort of the best case situation. We have nice flat area in front of the windows. If we needed to use bigger ground ladders, taller ground ladders, we could use a longer ground ladder to get up to the window. We have plenty of room for our tower truck to set up. We have mostly a flat road for the tower truck, and we have plenty of room around the building for many of our other fire suppression. So if we needed fire engines or other ladder trucks to come in, we have room for other trucks here. We're going to go to another building in town that doesn't have all the same area, doesn't have all the same advantages of this building, and we're going to see where these egress platforms are really important and where they can really make a difference if there ever was a fire in the building. So we're here at another building in town. This building, when originally we came here for an emergency response. While the fire crews were here, they identified some code problems in the building, which initiated a fire and life safety inspection. During the fire and life safety inspection, one of our primary concerns was egress and occupant safety. The property manager here and the building owner, they worked to correct those deficiencies, and it brought in many requirements from the codes office to complete those projects.
So from a code enforcement perspective, what we would expect from a property owner would be to go through the proper processes for permitting. Any electrical or plumbing or framing updates that needed to occur would have needed to be permitted first. Another thing that we like to see in buildings such as this is the egress balcony. The egress balcony would have been treated as an unenclosed structure. There is a small fee for permitting, and it would need to meet all of our building code requirements.
And again, here you can see the egress platform is a huge thing for occupant safety. The small windows in the building don't meet the egress requirements, and this area is a really tight area. It's a small street. The power lines are in the way, so we couldn't get our tower truck in to help rescue the occupants if we needed to. And where the window is on a really steep grade, so even ground ladders would be difficult to get to the window here. So the egress balcony plays a critical role in added safety. Here we see another angle of the egress balcony. Again, the importance is 2 ways out of every room. Most rooms, the second way out is through a window. And the fire code allows for that as long as the window is at least 20 feet off the ground. So here we're well over 20 feet off the ground. And the added difficulty is where we're on the hill for access, for the fire crews to try and get a ground ladder up there for rescue would be extremely difficult. So the egress platform provides time for occupant safety, gets them out of the hazardous space, gets them away from the fire, the smoke and the heat, and gets them into a spot where we have some extra time to rescue them in a safe manner.
From a code enforcement perspective, we want to make sure that egress balconies are built to standard. We like to see that this is secured properly to the building, that handrails are at the proper height, and that any point of the structure is properly constructed and meets all of our codes.